It's truly ridiculous, annoying, and absurd how Taehyung and Jungkook are paired up with the entire industry, but not with each other, when they're the only real couple. It's almost comical, if it weren't so frustrating, to see how every day a new rumor about them pops up for the slightest interaction they have with anyone. A glance, a photo, a word is enough to set the internet ablaze with meaningless headlines. It's as if breathing the same air as another artist is reason enough to invent a romantic story. Taehyung and Jungkook are K-pop idols, part of a gigantic and demanding industry, where attending events, galas, or award ceremonies is an inevitable part of their professional lives. Of course, they'll meet other artists, talk to them, share the stage, or smile in front of the cameras. That's normal, and absolutely professional. However, it seems some refuse to understand the difference between a friendly interaction and a romantic connection. The most incredible thing of all is that in all these years, Taehyung and Jungkook have never given a single reason for anyone to think they love anyone other than each other. And yet, every day a new attempt to link them to someone else appears. It's disgusting, and sometimes even cruel, to be constantly paired with different people, regardless of whether they're men or women, for reasons so random they border on the ridiculous. The next step, at this rate, is to read that Taehyung and Jungkook are in love simply because they breathed the same oxygen at an event. Just yesterday, Taehyung was linked to 3 different women. When I saw the headlines, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I laughed, but with that tired kind of laugh, the kind that comes when something has already defied all logic. Reading these wild theories about how they're supposedly both dating the same idol was a surreal sight. It's as if certain people were competing to see who could write the craziest rumor. I truly hope that one day Taekook will take legal action against all those spreading such nonsense. Because it not only damages his image, but also trivializes their relationship, that genuine connection that everyone who has followed them for years can clearly see. But the worst thing isn't the rumors themselves, but where they come from. All of this stems from a group of people who flatly refuse to accept the truth. Their idol has been lying to them for years, constructing an image that doesn't correspond to reality. They talk, shout, and point fingers, saying that Taehyung is involved with everyone, while ignoring the truth that was always right in front of them. The truth that Jimin is straight was exposed by his own girlfriend, and their relationship was confirmed by the company. It was all made public, but those fans remain trapped in their fantasy, refusing to see the obvious. They prefer to live in their lie rather than accept what is truly true. And then, to keep that illusion alive, they invent, distort, and fabricate impossible relationships. They bond with Taehyung, anyone who approaches him, locks eyes with him, or shares a stage with him. They can't seem to bear the thought of their narrative crumbling, so they put up smokescreens to avoid facing reality. But no matter how hard they try, they can't change it. Taekook, such a close boyfriend and coded couple, gave us one of the most beautiful and precious moments they've ever shared with us. This live wasn't just another broadcast, it was a direct window into their world, one of those times when, without realizing it, they opened the door to their hearts and let us into their lives as if we were silent witnesses to a love that feels so real, so sincere, so theirs. It all started with that small detail that, for many, went unnoticed, but for those of us who follow their story, it meant so much more. We learned that these 2 lovebirds used Rave, an app that allows them to sync TVs so they can watch something at the same time. A simple but deeply symbolic feature, because it's very popular among couples looking to share moments from a distance, to see each other and feel close even if they're not in the same place. And there they were, Taehyung and Jungkook, sharing that experience as if it were the most natural thing in the world, as if the universe aligned every time they decided to spend time together. Taehyung turned on his TV with that relaxed gesture, while Jungkook took the remote and began searching for Winter Ahead. And in that small, everyday act, there was something magical, the comfort of someone who no longer needs words to understand each other. With that attentive gaze, Jungkook couldn't help but let his voice sound a little softer when he referred to him. And then, as if love had escaped him without permission, he tenderly praised him. "He's so handsome." Taehyung smiled with that mixture of shyness and confidence that only appears when he's with him. And there, in that brief exchange, you could feel everything. But what no one expected was what would come next. At the exact moment the phrase "I'll be with you" rang out, Jungkook looked at him in a way that stopped time. It was a look that needed no translation, one that said without speaking, "He's only mine." In those eyes, there was a mixture of pride, affection, and a devotion impossible to hide. The eyes are the reflection of the soul, and Jungkook's, in that instant, said it all. And that's where the most beautiful thing happened. For a few minutes, Taekook forgot they were in real time. They let themselves be carried away by what they truly are, two souls who love each other without reservation. Their gestures spoke a language that only they understand. Jungkook not only praised Taehyung for his beauty, but also for his masculinity. And he did so with that mix of respect and admiration that only those who truly love have. His tone of voice changed slightly, becoming warmer, deeper, as if each word contained a confession that he no longer needed to hide. It was such a natural moment that it was impossible not to smile at the sight. It was love, and nothing more. Their every gesture reflected the same thing: tenderness, connection, devotion. Taekook has always been like that, for each other, the most beautiful and precious person, no matter how they look, no matter the rumors or the voices of others. What makes them special isn't what they say or show, but what they convey when they're together. That way they look at each other, that way they laugh at the same time, that way they find refuge in each other's presence, is what marks them out as more than just colleagues or friends. And as the live continued, the fans knew it. That connection that needs no labels, that has always been there, manifesting itself in small gestures, in fleeting glances, in simple words filled with emotion. This moment was just further proof of something that needs no demonstration, that Taekook is real. No matter what the skeptics say or the stories that try to get in the way. No matter how many people try to link them, the truth is that there is something between them that cannot be broken, a connection so deep that it transcends any external narrative. What they share isn't just affection or friendship, it's a bond built over the years, with trust, with respect, and with a love that doesn't need to be proclaimed to be felt. The most revealing aspect of the bond between Taehyung and Jungkook lies not in a single isolated gesture, but in the silent accumulation of many, in those tiny details that seem casual but, when combined, create an invisible pattern. At first glance, these might seem like spontaneous moments, fleeting moments that any observer could overlook, but if you look closely, you perceive a subtle, almost imperceptible choreography that only they master. Every smile, every accidental touch, every exchange of glances contains a secret language that needs no translation. The Taekookers aren't limited to isolated gestures, their interactions have their own cadence, an emotional routine that repeats itself every time they're together, creating an intimacy that seems natural and, at the same time, unbreakable. This routine makes them seem more than companions, more than friends. It makes them seem part of the same universe that only they understand, where every act carries weight and every silence communicates more than 1,000 words. But just when it seemed everything came down to the sum of these small pieces, the unexpected arose. During the exact moment the phrase "I'll be with you" was uttered, Jungkook looked at him in a way that stopped time, made the world around him disappear, and made each second seem to stretch on infinitely. It was a look laden with meaning, one that needed no translation, one that said without words, "He's only mine." In those eyes, there was a mixture impossible to ignore: pride, affection, devotion, and a hint of tenderness that couldn't be hidden. The eyes are the reflection of the soul, and Jungkook's, in that instant, told a whole story, one that revealed the depth of their bond and the security of a shared affection that brooked no interference. One of the most fascinating aspects of their relationship is the way they communicate without speaking, how the smallest gestures, the pauses, the silences, convey more than a full speech. There are people who believe that everything that happens between them is part of fan service or a spectacle in front of the cameras, but there is a world of difference between a staged act and the authenticity that emanates when they are together. Every gesture, every glance, every touch happens as if there were no one else around, as if time were folding in on itself and only the two of them existed in a suspended space. Naturalness is felt in every touch of hands, in every contained smile, in every moment when their gazes meet and hold, creating a silent dialogue that only they understand. And while it may seem insignificant to some, each microgesture reinforces the emotional routine that unites them, that invisible choreography that sustains their bond and makes the relationship feel genuine, inevitable, and fascinating. When Jungkook gave the look that affirmed him as his, it wasn't just a passing moment, but an act steeped in history, mutual trust, and tender possession, an instant that encapsulated years of connection, shared laughter, and comfortable silences.